Hey, how's it going everybody? It's DJ Sketch and welcome back to the channel. And today we're taking a look at Special Cybernetic Attack Team, or S.C.A.T as it's more commonly referred to in the US region, also known as Final Mission in Japan and Attack on New York in the PAL region. This is a hybrid run-and-gun shoot-'em-up game much like Contra, mixed together with Section Z and Burai Fighter. And this drums up a fair comparison to Capcom's Forgotten Worlds, considering they were released within a couple years of each other. Developed and published by Natsume, originally released in Japan in 1990, and the US got this game in the following year in 1991 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So what's going on here exactly? Well, it's the year 2029, and an army of alien invaders led by Malmort has planted a tube connecting the ruins of New York City with their own space station. A team of cyborg soldiers, known as the Special Cybernetic Attack Team, has been assembled to counterattack their impending invasion. Sounds simple enough, right? In S.C.A.T, you have a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up with some really tight level design and sprite work. Also, the cinematic that opens the game up is off the chain. You can tell the team that developed this were fans of not only the film Predator and Commando, but also Aliens, which is totally appropriate. Playing as Arnold or Sigourney, you fly through 5 stages of shoot-'em-up action where your character can fire left and right, and using a lockable satellite that can fire in all 8 directions. This is a mechanic you'll need to have down by the midpoint of the game in order not to get bodied by the alien threat. 5 stages doesn't sound like much at first, but until you get the controls down, it's going to feel tough, especially by the time you get to the upward scrolling section of stage 3. This part not only has a ton of enemies coming at you, but the screen also scrolls so fast, your eyes are going to feel like they're melting. The tip for this part is to lock your satellites vertically, so you can have the main directions covered and rotate between the bigger targets as they come down, because there's going to be a couple you need to keep your eye on. Graphics wise, this game looks rad with the bombed out cityscapes, alien bases, and eventually the depths of space itself. The level designs here are tight, but since they are auto-scrolling, knowing what's ahead is going to be the key of staying alive through this mission. Trial and error is going to play a part in every run of this game until you figure out the patterns that work best for you. Enemy designs are also pretty cool too, with an array of robotic and cyborg enemies. Stage 4 has you battling a battleship in space, which is honestly one of the best parts of the game just based on the scale alone. Also, the explosions look pretty sweet in this game. Sound-wise, this game cooks as well, and the soundtrack by Kiyohiro Sada is on Contra levels of hype. The music in this game is reason enough to play it alone. The sound effects also have a bit of the Contra vibe as well, while sharing some of the same sound effects that you've heard in Contra and Super C. And also the voice synthesis at the beginning of the game's opening screen is also some of the best I've heard on the system. Gameplay wise is a tough one at first, but through repetition and a lot of trial and error, you'll get through it eventually. The game allows you to take a base of 6 hits per life and can stack to about 8 or 9. You have infinite continues, but there are no checkpoints, so if you have to use continue, you have to start from the beginning of each stage, with the exception of stages 3 and 4 aren't very long. The satellites and weapon variety add a bit of strategy to the mix, as well as figuring out which angles can provide the most cover fire, and learning enemy placements will help your chances of survival exponentially. The wide beam felt like it was the best all-around weapon in the game, but there's also the laser and the bomb power-ups, which are also powerful as well. There's also a speed boost and the R icon, which will give you a few stocks of life back, as well as score extends to get extra health. Stage 5, you'll need all the health you can get since the whole level is littered with ricochet lightning, so prepare to die on that stage a lot until you find all of the safe spots. The only real downside to S.C.A.T is the length. I know, insert joke here, right? But honestly, once you get going with the game and figure everything out, you can run this in just under 30 minutes, but it's a half hour of power to say the least. While it's a short run, it's a fun one, and it's definitely a game that embodies the whole saying of not here for a long time, but here for a good time, so to speak. And with it also being 2 players, this is a good one to bring a buddy along with. Special Cybernetic Attack Team gets an 8.5 out of 10, and I recommend playing this one any way that you can. Physical cards have stayed pretty high in price and only seem to be trending upward, but for a collector or a shoot-'em-up fan, I'd say it's totally worth it. Though if you want something a little bit different to play on the NES, give this one a shot however you can. It doesn't disappoint, even if it is a bit short once you get your bearings with it. And again, I thank you for watching this video. If you find these videos helpful, that's awesome. I'm glad you can use it as a resource. Keep checking back, and we'll have some more reviews and commentaries coming up in the future, and I hope you're all staying safe out there, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.